We're back in the studio. This is Discussion Combustion, episode 60. Kevin and I are super excited to be in here. We haven't run a solo episode in a little bit. We've been going hard with the guests.
Real hard with the guests, man. We got to bring in 60 right, you know? We got 60 of these in the books, bro. We got to bring it in just you and I.
60 of these in the book. And we're excited to be in here, man. And you know that we wouldn't be possible or quite as responsible without our sponsorships.
That's right.
Today's episode is brought to you by Mountain Made CBD. That's mountainmade.life.
That's right. Be sure to head over to mountainmade.life to stock up on all of your crystal clear CBD products, the build, the boost, the recover, and the full spectrum puff. Running a special, guys. Get them at $4 a piece on that smokable puff. Or if you want to get a little bit wild and you want to get 6 of them for $20, that's the banger deal going on right now.
Get a little discount.
Yeah, get a little discount. Stock up on these things because they're going to go quick. They're going to ease your pain. Ease your pain, give you some gain. That's that smokable CBD flower.
Man, and not the flower, the puff is an awesome product. I've tried them; they're delicious. And but seriously though, they have the 50 milligram build in the morning, and that's one of your highest milligram CBD doses out in the market. And they do this for a reason because those little 5-10 milligrams of CBD is not going to hit you like 50 milligrams. Well, that's going to really help with inflammation. It's going to help with, anxiety. There's so many benefits to this, and it's a tablet. So you're not like taking a tincture or anything else. So, Mountain Made has had opportunities to cut cost on things, and they've kept their cost up to keep the ingredients better. And it's a Colorado company that has a national reach. If you're a dispensary out there and you're looking to have some extra product on your shelves, the puff is actually suited just for that. They meet all the regulations for CBD, and the puff, like, they have stands like that is ready to go on your shelf on the way out on your counter for checking out.
Absolutely, they make it simple. They got these display cases ready to rip, tater, chip, get your puffs, get them rolling. Coast to coast, these guys have you covered. They're shipping nationwide, practically zero THC, so you don't have to worry about that. And like Arthur mentioned, the build, the boost, and the recover, great products. People always say, man, I take CBD, I don't really feel anything. Well, you know what? It's not about feeling anything. It's about what you don't feel. Some people do feel the euphoric feeling from it, but CBD alleviates a lot of those things. It alleviates pain, helps with sleep, reduces anxiety, has a lot of great benefits. And CBD is certainly a medicinal purpose that needs to be utilized in a lot of different areas. And Mountain Made's doing it different. There's so much competition, and there's a lot of places you can go. But you need to go to mountainmade.life and see what these guys are all about, because that's that crystal clear CBD.
Absolutely, and we rep them so hard. Mike, he's going to come on again soon and talk to us. The people that we represent on this show are people that we believe in and trust, and we're going to keep going with them because what they're doing is something that has good moral standpoint, and that's why we stand behind it. They got a Mountain Made mob, so if you're into working out, you're trailblazing them bikes, you're crossfitting the weights, you're doing all your gains, you could be on the mob, you could be a sponsor. I always mess up the word.
The Mountain Made, the brand ambassador.
Brand ambassador.
Yeah, brand ambassador with Mountain Made.
That gets me tongue twisted.
Yeah.
But absolutely, mountainmade.life is where you want to go for all your CBD products, and yeah, great deals on the puff.
Great deals on the puff. Take advantage of it while you can. It's running through mid-August. And while you're over there, definitely check out some of their other products. Check out some of their merchandise. That hashtag Go Like Hell, always available.
Workout programs.
We're heading into those colder months here coming up. We got Sober October coming. We're not sure how that's going to work just yet. But Mountain Made really has your interests in mind, for sure. When it comes to taking care of all platforms of the day, starting your day off with that build. Getting a little sluggish around noon, take your boost.
With electrolytes.
Give your body some rest and recovery. You take the recover at night. Live
with Magnolia.
Give you some wild dreams. It gives me crazy dreams. I don't do smoking, but the puff, tremendous.
It is tremendous.
Take advantage of those deals.
Absolutely. And the hashtag is Go Like Hell, because that's what we do in this life.
That's right. Today's episode is also brought to you by Wild Outdoor Adventures. Head on over to WOAMEET.com and sign up for free for some great outdoor activities.
Kevin Fryer's out there doing it, man. He got stung by a bee the other day because he is truly trekking these trails, and he's doing a great job. A lot of this stuff that you go onto the website, you become a member, that's zero charge. You can go ahead and go on many hikes for free as well, unless if there's additional rental costs. Then most of the things that they do are at no charge. But it's more than just getting out on the trails. It's a place where you can blog, express opinions, get to understand things. They have Hope for Teens, veteran, entrepreneurial programs, blogs for all this sort of stuff. Easy to use website.
Very easy to use. Great place to connect with others. If you just moved to Colorado especially, it's a terrific source to get you outdoors and connected with other people. And even if you don't want to go outdoors, you can still connect via their website and blog with other people. Talk about some equipment. talk about some trails you've been on, talk about a new gun you just purchased. It's really a great source to bring people together. And Kev's offering these great hats over there at WA. You can get yours. I know they're a little bit on back order, but he plans to get some of those out if you want to rock one of those really awesome WA hats.
I love that hat. It goes great with most of my outfits because I usually just wear Bronco hats. And so it feels good to have like, another local Colorado company to rock,
So, that's less dreaming and more exploring. Get yourself outdoors, guys. It's summertime.
Get yourself outdoors. I've been walking miles in my boot.
Have you?
Yes, I have. So, just a little, if you've been listening, the story. Like I messed up my ankle bad over a month ago. And so I wore the boot for 1 week. And I was trying to be tough. I took it off. I'm like, I could put some weight on it. I'm kind of limping, but whatever. And so I started just, trying to walk miles like that. And I would like maybe walk 2 miles, but very slowly. And, the pain just kind of kept increasing. And I finally talked to somebody that was a family friend that, cares about my injury. And he's like, dude, you need to be wearing that boot for at least 3 weeks. And try not to move it if you can wear it while you sleep, So I'm walking miles on that. I'm getting outdoors. I'm moving around on this boot, trying to heal the ankle and moving. I mean, because you're working in stores. I'm working from home basically all the time. And really walking is like one of the biggest ways for me to fill my body with relief. Like,
walking?
It's just getting out there, smelling the air, walking, even though I'm in a neighborhood and city blocks, but there's a bunch of trees and I can't describe how beneficial walking has been for me. Just being able to move around a little bit after like being couch struck after this injury. Like it's helping my mental health out. It's like really, it's making me feel better as a person, so it's good to stay active. It's important,
Yeah, I guess I take it a little bit for granted being that I walk anywhere from like 9 to 12 miles per day, roughly, in these big marketplace stores that I'm in. And, man, I get the steps in, and that's all well and good. I guess I kind of take it for granted because it's just part of what I do. It's what I have to do to get the job done.
If you had to move to a computer position where you're
I'd struggle.
You would be wanting to get up out of your desk.
I would have a hard time.
Gain like 10 to 15 pounds probably.
I would easily gain 10 to 15 pounds.
I wonder how you would look like with that extra weight.
I mean, I'd probably look pretty good, but I don't know, though.
I think you would look good.
It depends on where the weight would be distributed, but yeah, I don't do well sitting down. I get very anxious.
Yeah.
For the last 16 years, I've been on the move. I mean, my job has been very physical, which is nice because I'm a beer drinker and I like to eat, and it keeps some of the weight off of me, I feel like.
It definitely does.
It helps with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just healthy to move around. It helps your mentality out. So I've been really enjoying that. I kind of, I'm going to say this as a negative, even though I like it, but I have a Game Boy Advanced emulator on my cell phone. And so basically I could download any Game Boy game on there. But the way that like the touchscreen buttons work, like the R and the L buttons don't really work that well because you have to like go way up here. So like turn-based games is really good on there. So I play like Advanced Wars, which is like a war game. And also I recently got the cool ROM for Pokemon. So I'm replaying Pokemon right now. And I already logged 8 hours on it. And I started this week. I got it this like last weekend.
And how is this improving your mobility?
No, see, I was just talking about things that I enjoyed.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm enjoying going on walks, and then also really enjoying playing Pokemon and like leveling up my Pikachus and my Geodudes, and so I've been going hard on that, man. It's been fun, but my girl, she doesn't like it. She doesn't. I mean, and I understand because it's taking I got screen time, so it's taking away FaceTime, and so you got to balance it. Like most things, you got to balance it.
I haven't been doing a whole lot of gaming other than the new NASCAR that came out for PS4.
Yeah.
NASCAR Heat 5 and getting down. My brother and I played a little bit. He's got, like I said a couple episodes ago, he's got the whole wheel. He's got the full assembly with the wheel.
That's
the
badass.
But what's great is I can still whip his ass on just a controller.
So you're like, you spent all this money for what?
Well, the experience, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when you're on the...
That's true.
I would love to have that set up. I just don't want to spend the money on it. Because I can still go out there and run lap times and whip his ass, on that NASCAR. But... that whole, it just adds that dynamic, like partial racing simulator. So I don't know if I'm going to grab one of those, but me, I'm not a huge video gamer. I like sports games.
Yeah.
Racing is primarily my go-to.
Yeah. Racing is a lot of fun. Competitive games are fun. I would almost, how much I love games. Like, I don't play all the games, but I definitely play games every single week. And after playing games for over 2 decades, I would almost say that I'm at a point where I'm an ultimate gamer.
You think so?
Yeah. Like,
what is an ultimate gamer, do you think?
I don't know what that is, but my opinion is that it's somebody that loves to play video games, dedicates time to playing video games, is good at video games, but there's all these benefits to playing games, like because you're keeping your mind active, you're challenging yourself, like hand-eye coordination, it's there. But like for people in senior, like the retirement homes and stuff, I've heard of a lot of studies where it's like, they play video games to help their mentality stay sharp and like all this, and it's beneficial, So I feel like an ultimate gamer is going to look at reality differently because they've overcome all these boss battles or these struggles or how to, make this economical in the game. How, they're looking at all these different steps on how to do this right in the game, and that bleeds over into reality. Like it helps give you a different viewpoint. Like, if I keep trying, then maybe I'll beat this or something. You got to keep so I don't know. I feel like the gamers out there, man, I got love for all of them. I got love for all the gamers out there smashing buttons. It's a good pastime.
Yeah, it is. I do enjoy gaming. Like I said, I tend to get pretty frustrated at times, but that's any challenge that's put in front of me,
Yeah.
Frustration is part of overcoming the defeat. You get frustrated, you dust yourself off, you come back, try harder. And there is a lot of good things that come out of video gaming. The hand-eye coordination, keeping your mind sharp, understanding puzzles, strategery, as Bush would say.
Yeah.
Getting your strategery dialed in if you're playing, something along those lines. Again, I play mostly sports games, so it's like...
So, yeah, see, I don't play online. Like, that's not my forte. Like, I like to self-immersion into the game.
It's kind of fun, though, to do the multiplayer thing, especially with racing, because, dude, it gets heated.
But, like, I've heard you say stories about playing people in Madden, and you, like, whip them, and they're like, stop cheating, bro.
Every time.
Like, there's, like, the worst losers out there.
Every time I win in Madden by a large number of points, people are like, oh, cheater, this, that, and the other. It's like, okay. I got it done. Racing's a lot of fun, though. I love racing online. But I'll tell you this, dude. The NASCAR online community is very hit or miss because you have the diehards like myself, my brother, and guys that understand racing are there to race clean. You give guys room on the track. You don't bump into each other. You're racing clean. It's not a demolition derby. You're actually trying to participate in the sport. So when you can get into an online room with guys that race that way, it's a lot of fun.
I bet.
Because
what's the percentage like?
Less than 35.
Oh, so primarily rubbing bumpers with dirty drivers.
At least 60 to 70% of the time, you will have 2 to 3 guys in a room. The only reason they're in there, and they did a good job, because if they start going backwards on the track, they're a ghost. So they'll just go through you.
Yeah.
But you'll have guys that'll slow up on the track in front of you as you're running full speed. They'll wait, and then they'll just wreck you.
Yeah.
Just to wreck you.
Oh, come on, people.
And that's all they do.
Are you still rocking that DCPC car?
Oh, absolutely.
I remember you putting that together, like Kevin like built his discussion combustion NASCAR in the game, and he's like sending me pictures of all this, and I'm like, it looks so real. I was like, what is this? No way. We can't afford to put it on. We can't afford that.
It looks good.
I thought it was on a real car.
Yeah, it looks good.
There's no way we could afford to pay that.
If you guys haven't seen it, there's a picture on our social from back when on like Instagram. So if you want to take a look, I did a little custom scheme for a NASCAR online. So yeah, when I'm running online, people are seeing the podcast logo. So that's kind of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I didn't come on expecting to talk about a bunch of gaming today. I'm born and bred Coloradan. I'm from
so
out
you're rocking
here.
that Rocky shirt, bro.
It's the season. We're out there, and I might not be the biggest fan of baseball, but
great sport.
But it is a good sport, and it's keeping people active right now.
I know, but you hear what's going on with the Marlins?
Well, no, I didn't.
They're shut down with COVID.
Oh.
The team is ramped with COVID, and they said it was because they were all out hitting the town. Granted, Florida's a hot spot, but a lot of these baseball clubs are getting hit with COVID.
I mean, they're probably going to have to delay the sport. But
what's going to happen with football, you think? That's
dude,
a contact sport, bro.
Dude, it's not going to work.
It isn't going to work.
It's not going to work like you want it to.
A lot of football players, our New England Patriots, Donta Hightower, one of our best middle linebackers, just opted out of the season. A lot of guys are saying, I'm not playing. I don't know if J.J. Watt said he's not playing or not. Don't quote me on that. But a lot of hitters are like, I'm opting out of the season.
I mean, you can't really blame them, man. I'm opting out of going to the office right now.
Are you?
Yeah, because working from home is safer, and there's other benefits for me.
Do you think, because I don't know who I was talking to, but a lot of people are speculating that if you don't have to be in the office type positions, right, like what you do, you don't necessarily have to be at a desk in a specific location. You can work remotely.
Any desk.
Yeah. That the people in that situation probably won't go back to work until 2021.
I think that's 100% correct.
Like summer of 2021.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know if I stated my opinion on this. Maybe I did last week, but like, I feel like it's going to be like a year and a half to 3 years before the vaccine's out. And then, even,
are you going to get it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm not going to get the vaccine.
I don't think so. Like,
and I'm not judging people that do, but I'm just personally, I'm not going to get it. I don't get any vaccines.
I don't want to be the first round of that vaccine. And you have been vaccinated. I know you have.
Well, I've been vaccinated.
But not for the flu.
No, I got the measles, mumps, rubella.
Yeah.
I've had tetanus shots.
Because at one point I thought you were an anti-vaxxer, and I was I'm like, Kevin.
I'm not necessarily anti-vax.
Like, don't you?
I'm sort of anti.
Annual vaxing.
Yes.
And I can respect that too, because I seem to stay healthy without getting the flu shots, and I don't want to be part of the front line of experimenting with these COVID vaccines. I mean, it's like I should probably go get tested to where, like, have I had it? Not do I have it test, but have I had it in the past? Because with all the symptoms that they're explaining, I mean, anyone could have had it, like just on allergy symptoms alone. Like, you could have had it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people are saying doing diarrhea is a part of it.
Yeah.
And that happens at times.
It does to all of us, the best of us. COVID, schmovid, that's something that is here to stay for a while. It has to run through humanity. But one thing that was cracking me up about watching these baseball games
is the cardboard
the cardboard characters.
I love it. And then what did I hear? I think it was Meredith that was telling me that people were paying.
Yeah,
you can pay.
You could pay
to have your own
to get your cardboard cut out,
put on to the
and
seat.
You put it into a chair. It's
but how much
charity
is it,
based. I don't know. It's probably like less than $200.
I'd maybe do it.
Just
to help out.
It would be fun to get like a cool one where you're doing something cool or something. I was saying we should wear straight DCPC stuff in that.
That'd be cool.
So that way people are like, "Oh, what's that?" They're not.
If they're going to see it, I mean, how many?
But people are paying attention to the cardboard. It reminds me of old school video games.
It does a little bit.
Like how, like in the crowd, like all the characters would be doing the same thing.
You would they would just all either be bouncing in unison or like putting their arms up and down. Like that's all you would get.
So what's the aesthetic? What's the point of having the car? Because baseball, I guess they're really the only sport that's active right now.
No, NASCAR.
Well,
NBA.
But NASCAR doesn't have cardboard cutouts in the stands.
No,
NBA's not doing it.
No, NASCAR has real fans in the stands. Very limited.
Yeah.
And it depends on the location.
Yeah.
Texas did it. Kansas didn't. Where the hell are we going this weekend? We got my home track, New Hampshire. I don't know if New Hampshire's allowing fans or not.
Fans in the stands.
It's been contingent on the state by state basis.
It's a big question this year.
Our NBA's been doing a small. Have you seen their setup?
No.
It's like they took. I don't know where they're doing it. Maybe Orlando. I don't know. Don't quote me, guys. I'm not a real basketball expert, but for the clips I've seen, is people are socially distanced on the sidelines of the court. Very minimal amount of people. There's not stands around. It's just it's basically a shrunken court that these guys are playing ball on.
Interesting.
So they're doing it. Hockey's coming back. I'm not sure how the NHL is doing it, but MLB's definitely putting them cardboard sticky cutouts in the seats.
I think it's hilarious.
And they're pumping crowd noise into the stadium, like
through speakers.
If Trevor Story knocks a home run out of the park and Coors Field, you're hearing yo.
Really?
Yeah, they're pumping it in there, and it's going to be interesting to see if the NFL does the same thing.
They probably will.
But you got to remember, they made it a few years ago when the Indianapolis Colts, I think it was, got caught pumping noise into their stadium to make their fans seem louder than they were.
Huh.
The NFL put in a rule that says you can't do that. Granted, times are different.
It's almost
now.
just like skirmishes, It's like, without all the fans in there, you're going to be missing a lot of energy, and it's basically like a competitive scrimmage that counts.
Yeah.
It's going to count on the record, even though it just feels like, a practice round. So it's going to be interesting to see how that affects the players. It's going to be interesting to see how many players opt out, like you were talking about. And just, I mean, if one player gets sick, like that whole team has to stop. And then if one team can't participate in the season, then how does that season continue with one team out? So there's too many variables. Somebody's gonna get it in the
A lot of
NFL.
people
Like
are gonna get
there's
it.
no way that not one NFL
There's already
player,
been people that have had it.
yeah,
in the NFL.
So I don't know how sports are really gonna work right now.
Yeah, I mean, any sort of, in baseball, they're throwing a ball around, right? So the rule in baseball is if, so the batter hits it, let's say it's a ground out to the shortstop, he throws it over to first, or even if it goes out to the third baseman, he throws it over to first, back to the pitcher. If the ball touches more than 3 hands, they have to use a new ball. Mm-hmm. Right? That's kind of what I was listening to Theo Vaughn. He had Walker Buehler on from the LA Dodgers, and he was saying this is what they're telling us. In addition to that, you see baseball players are always spitting, right? They're always either chewing, gum, seeds. Sunflower seeds. Mm-hmm. They can't do that. And one of the things that you see a lot of the pitchers do is they're always spitting in their hands and kind of scuffing up the baseball, with a little bit of moisture before they throw their pitch. Gives them that grip. So they can't do that either. So they're keeping a damp towel hanging off of their pants so they can get a little moisture on that baseball.
Wicked.
So I mean, I don't know. It's just, who knows? It changes every week.
We might as well just say that it's like a gladiator battle, because you step into the sports arena, you may die. Because COVID could kill you.
Yeah, but you could say that about it. Could.
But I'm saying, I was being dramatic there, a little over charismatic. No, not over charismatic.
Just over dramatic, really.
Over dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you meant, but you could say that about a lot of different things. I mean, you step out into a grocery store where I work.
Yeah, but I mean, are the case count of grocery store workers? I mean, I remember there being some in the beginning, but
there's been some, yeah.
Has that still been active? Have you had cases in your store of people?
In my specific accounts that I handle, there's been a couple cases that have popped up.
Yeah,
but for the most part, I haven't seen a large number of it. No. Not with what I do. I've heard of a lot of other surrounding accounts and people that have dealt with it. I mean, it's bound to happen, right? We work with the public. We're essentially high risk. Us essential employees that are out there in the battle zone. Honestly, I would have thought by now the number would have been higher. I mean, yeah, we're mandatory masks, sanitizing. A lot of people wear gloves.
Yeah.
You can do all those things, and that's all well and good. But is it really going to stop you from getting it? Do we know that?
I mean, it's going to help. But we've talked about it before. You start messing with your natural bacterial defense. I feel like if you're constantly killing bacteria, it's supposed to be in the mix. It's supposed to be part of life, and that's what keeps us strong and keeps us alive. Is our immune system's evolving with the evolving viruses or bacteria or whatever you want to call it. So it's going to have to run through humanity at some point. It's here. It's not going to disappear.
It's just crazy how inconsistent the reports and the ideas and this is what we need to do and this is what it's going to be and this is what it's doing. It's not consistent. People are saying it's going to be a seasonal thing. It's going to be like the seasonal flu, and we're going to have to deal with COVID yearly. Other people are like, no, that's nonsense. It's going to come in waves. It's going to be a big wave like it is now. Maybe it's just
consistent.
It could be. We just don't really know. But going back to the vaccines, if they're, when the COVID vaccine is available, I don't fault people for wanting to get it. I'm not personally going to get it.
I'll probably wait a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't mind. But what if you get it and then people start dying from taking the vaccine?
Well,
because sometimes you get the vaccine and then you get sick from it.
You have that with the flu shot too. That people get the flu shot and then get very ill.
That's what I'm saying.
So you're going to have that regardless.
Yeah. So what? Are people taking the when it's available the vaccine, and then you basically get COVID?
You're injecting a small strain of it into your body so you can build immunity to it. But if what they're saying is if you can get this thing twice, now you can recover from it and get it again, which is now the talking point, then what the hell what is a vaccine going to do if you can get it twice? Just like a flu.
Make it stronger?
Right. So do you get the COVID vaccine once a year like you do a flu shot?
Probably
which, again, I don't do that. I don't get sick very often. I'm very fortunate for that. But when I do, it's not pleasant,
It's probably because you pump so much alcohol into your system that your body is confused in the first place, and your white blood cells are constantly like at disarray. And so even when things do come in there, everything's so discombobulated that
I would be curious.
it doesn't have a chance to actually take hold.
I'd be curious to see the numbers on, because alcohol kills the COVID. You know,
Does it though? I thought that was like a rumor.
Well, but we have it in the sanitizer, right? If all these sanitizers are made with alcohol, right?
Yeah.
I want to see the stats on people that drink daily, like myself, a few beers, shot of whiskey here and there. Are we less prone to getting, or are the numbers that are testing positive less?
Yeah.
That drink alcohol? I'm just curious about
Or
it.
smoking
I'm not-
chronic,
and
like
I
because it's a
certainly,
lung disease. Like, does the marijuana help?
who knows? And I'm
Yeah.
not advocating for any sort of drug or alcohol use to prevent COVID. I'm just saying I want to see kind of some of the numbers because it's so inconsistent. It's like, here's this gentleman that runs every day, eats right, vegan, all this stuff. Best shape you can be in. Gets COVID, gets sick. You know. Then you have the opposite end of the spectrum. Truck driver, alcoholic, eats like shit, doesn't sleep well. He's fine, never has any side of it. It's just so inconsistent from person to person.
And that's what makes it deadly and interesting, you know, because, you know, anyone could be the Grim Reaper.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, that's how I was talking about how much I love my walks. Like, people have been giving space. Like, people like cut into the street before you get close. You know, I cut into the street before I get close. Like, it's a give or take. You know, now that I'm walking on this boot, a lot of people give way, and I appreciate all you out there that are, you know, respecting the injury. And you know, it takes, you got to have space, man. And so people look at people like you could potentially be a carrier. People are paranoid right now.
People are very paranoid. And being that I do work in the grocery business, I see very frustrated people. I see people on both sides of the spectrum. People that don't want to wear the mask, which is required. They have to wear it to come into these stores now.
Yeah.
Walmart, Target, Home Depot, Lowe's, Kroger, you name it. These big chains are they're mandatory. Got to wear a mask. And you saw people being like, I'm not going to do that. And sure, that's your choice, but guess what? You're going to have to shop somewhere else. And then you have people on the opposite side. You know, the health department actually came into, I won't mention the exact location, but a specific grocery store in the Denver metro area, and saw that some of the employees were wearing their masks below their nose.
Yeah.
So that you know, they had that hanger exposed, that upper deck.
Showing their weenus.
And, well, the weenus... No,
is your elbow.
It's your elbow skin.
I know, but I like to call it because it looks like a penis.
You think?
Well, if I were to wear my boxers below my Johnson and like everything was covered other than my Johnson, that's what it looks like.
You're disgusting.
Well, we talked about this before, you know?
Yeah.
So now in the wild, when you're walking out there, my girlfriend, I'm like, oh, there's a wild penis hanging out.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, it's my thing. It doesn't have to be everybody's thing. But yeah, regardless, if you're going to wear a mask, then do it properly. You know, you got to make sure that you're covering everything that needs to be covered.
Everything has to be covered. And I guess my point was that this specific location in the Denver metro area got hit with the health department. They went in there and they were kind of undercover about it, just kind of snapping some low-key photos of specific employees that were not wearing it properly.
Yeah.
And they've been issued citations, written up, have to report to court because it's a health violation at this point.
Yeah.
It's just as bad as, you know, the health department coming in and saying, we're shutting you down.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
I mean, it's to be taken seriously. People, you know, are losing lives over this. Like, you know, it's for real. And the reason why the numbers are amping up is because more tests are available and like the real numbers are just starting to show. You know, it's been high for a while. It's just we haven't had the tests to see it. You know, so it's not time to be complacent. You know, we have to, you know, steady ho. You know, all hands on deck, and let's continue to sail this boat into the right direction. You know, keep our minds sharp. You know, remind ourselves that we can be patient through these times. You know, if you want to go out and do things, that's fine, but you're gonna have to be patient. There's lines everywhere. You know, give people space. You know, respect others. Like,
and that's a hard thing for a lot of people to do, Art. I mean, as easy it is for us to sit here and say that's what we need to do. I mean, you and I were walking into a specific location the other night to purchase some things, and we saw the social distance line to go in.
Yeah.
People get frustrated. They're like, man, I don't got time for this. I don't want to play this game. It's like, well, there is other options.
It's to be expected right now.
And there is other options. You don't want to do that? Well, then do pickup, click list, home delivery, whatever. There's other things available. And that keeps those services running. So it's like, as much of a burden as it is, we all agree it's a pain in the ass. Everything we're going through. I don't want to wear a mask every day as much as the next guy.
Yeah.
But you got to play the game. You got to play the game. Whether you agree with it, whether you don't, this is where we're at. And so the only way to get out of this is to play by the rules. People call it controlled, and I'm not going to be this, that, and the other. I get it. I want my freedom as much as the next guy. But just do it. Just do it. And it'll blow over. It's like jury duty. I want to compare it to that because a lot of people are like, oh, I got called for jury duty. I'm going to try to get out of it. Do your civil duty.
It's not difficult. Like if you're self-entitled enough to like make a big deal about wearing a mask, then like you should really look in the mirror and ask yourself, do I care about others? I mean, wearing a mask, like I've done a lot of construction in my day. Like I was installing, we put up this huge 20-foot wall that was like 200 feet long, 20 foot high, like huge. And we had to use like the soundproof insulation that was itchier than any insulation I've ever worked with. And I'm wearing a mask, safety goggles, and the whole white suit for like the majority of the day on like a scissor lift, moving, doing physical activity. I'm able to breathe just fine. I'm able to do it just fine. You just have to have a mentality that's stronger than what life is throwing at you. Like anybody can be weak and let any problem make them crumble. Anyone could be that weak to where it's like, oh my God, there wasn't enough milk for my cereal this morning. And so now it's so difficult. This morning is so difficult because I can't have my cereal with milk. It reminds me of that sort of attitude where it's just like, dude, there's more milk, like overcome it. Like it's a mental challenge. Like all the anti-maskers out there, just maybe challenge yourself. Like, can you overcome putting a piece of cloth on your face for 30 minutes straight? Like, are you strong enough to do that? Like, it's just, it's ridiculous to me. It really is.
It is. Again, as much as neither one of us want to wear it, my coworkers out, nobody wants to, right? Yeah. It's not like, oh, this is fun. This is convenient for my breathing. It isn't. It's a pain in the ass for everybody.
You get the same oxygen levels. It's been tested.
And people can bitch, moan, and complain. I've been one of them saying, is it effective? Is it not? At this point, it doesn't really matter what it is because
it's mandatory.
It's mandatory, and we can fight it. People, if you still want to fight it, go ahead and fight it. All I'm saying is it's just going to be a lot easier if we play by the rules. I'm not saying be a sheep, you're just a sheep following what everyone's telling you. I've heard it all.
It's like deal or no deal, but only mask or no mask. You want your goods and supplies, then there's one option.
That's it. That's it. And sometimes you just have to cave in and go, you know what? We don't like it. But
I got this fresh mask. I look awesome.
I left mine in the car. I would put mine on.
I look awesome and mysterious in this one. The nice, here, get that close up. Yeah. And bam. I look like a Mortal Kombat character.
You do kind of look like...
fucking awesome.
Who was it that used to wear the mask? Was it Scorpion?
Or was it Sub-Zero.
Yeah,
both
Sub-Zero.
Of them. And I got this mask. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, you got a bunch.
Just in case if somebody don't got a mask, Arthur got your back, baby.
No, but you can't be sharing masks, bro.
Well, with my girlfriend, because I kiss her.
Okay, well, that's different.
Yeah, so my boo-boo will get it.
All right. I mean, look.
It's
just, it's what we got to do. It's the times we live in, and I just think it'll be easier if everyone played by the rules.
So, if you had to choose, would you be a police officer or a firefighter?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, buddy. I have respect for both in so many areas. That's a real tough question because both those guys deal with a lot of life-changing things daily. Firefighters or EMTs, they're dealing with scraping bodies off the road from car accidents, putting out house fires, running in, saving people, heroes. Police officers, the same, protecting and serving the community. With the negative light that they're dealing with right now, I don't feel like I'd want to be a cop right now.
Yeah, but maybe it would be the best time for you to be a cop, so then you could show the right way to do it.
Yeah, but Yeah, you're right.
That's how, if I was a police, that's how I would get up and get the job done every day. Is like, look, I'm going to demonstrate how it should be done.
And I think there's probably a lot of great officers out there doing that. And thank you to the men in blue that
Yes.
do that. And, that serve the call of duty, protect and serve. When you dial 911, somebody's going to come.
Well, you hope.
You would hope.
I
There's
heard
some
I
cities
hear
that there's a delay on that.
Yeah, and that there's some neighborhoods that are like blacklisted, like where it's like police just don't even go in there, or whatever, don't go in there. And
I think if I was going to do law enforcement, and I know you said police officer or firefighter, I'd want to be maybe on like one of the special units. Not so much like
SWAT or something.
No, not so much even SWAT. Just like maybe like one of those undercover units. Like, oh, you're going to be working this case for like 6 months.
Yeah,
I'd probably maybe want to do that.
So
I guess I'm siding with police.
Officer of law.
Yeah, I'll probably do that.
Yeah. Picking between the two is, tough, like, especially with current circumstances. I don't know why being an officer just seems more appealing to me than being a firefighter. I would go officer. I mean, I got mad respect for both.
Both, absolutely.
Like both, they're essential parts of safety and keeping people healthy. And so, yeah, respect to both departments. But I think I would probably be an officer of law, and I would probably teeter on being a corrupt cop or not.
What do you mean teeter?
Like, you teeter on it, like kind of walk the line. Like, I would treat everybody respectfully, but like, did I really get that evidence, or am I keeping that evidence?
But see, that's part of the problem, don't you think?
Well, I've had problems.
Well, we've all had problems.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be an officer of the law,
well, I'm just being honest.
Okay.
Like I would probably be like, possibly, the cool cop that maybe lets that slide.
I mean, that's not okay.
And maybe like, oh, I detained you with this substance. Well, how about you just give that over and a ticket disappears? I would teeter on that line. Like, I'm just being honest with myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know if I could be a cop because I've had bad habits and I'm breaking habits.
Yeah,
and it feels good.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, if you're a kid thinking you're going to be, in the army when you grow up, you're like, I'm going to go be a soldier.
Yeah.
You don't really know how you're going to handle the situations until the situations are presented to you.
For real. Yeah. No, it's difficult. It's difficult. Yeah. So that's just me being silly, I guess. But if you had to pick, I got to have a food one.
Arthur's coming in with them would you rathers.
I have a food one. So would you rather have goulash or like a rice concoction? Do you know what goulash is?
Isn't it? It's like a hodgepodge, isn't it?
Yeah. So I looked at pictures. It's basically like a hamburger helper. It's like
goulash.
It's like pasta with like meats and stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. It's like a mixed bag of things.
Yeah, so goulash
or casserole, better yet, because a casserole could be so many things.
Yeah. So okay, yeah. So we could expand that. Goulash / casserole, or would you rather have like a rice concoction, like where it's like it's kind of similar. One's with pasta, one's with rice for the carb. Any meat of your type, veggies and mixed in it. Which one are you gonna choose?
I'm going 100% goulash.
Really?
Yep, I'm going with that casserole mix up. I grew up on casseroles. All right, so if we had egg noodles and in the cupboards, the cabinets,
in the cupboards,
Mom would usually throw that together. If it wasn't in the cupboard, it was in the pot, and so
if it wasn't in the cupboard, it's in the pot.
Yep. So egg noodles,
that's funny.
Spaghetti noodles, whatever kind of pasta you're using. Right?
Yeah.
That would be ingredient number one, followed by the meat. Typically, maybe some diced chicken, maybe some
tuna.
Maybe some tuna. We did a little bit of tuna helper.
Yeah.
Throw everything in there. Can of peas, can of this, can of that. Who knows what's in there? But you know what? It was delicious.
It is delicious, and I'm salivating now. I'm probably going to go the opposite, like we do on many Would You Rathers here. What happened? But I'm going with the rice, bro. because I love
You've always been a big rice guy. Though,
I love like the fried rice, like the rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat in your mouth.
It's so salty though, bro.
But you can add.
So
you
salty.
can add. You don't have to use the whole packet. You could add however much salt you want. You could desalt the sucker.
That's true. Yeah, you can.
You can desalt the sucker.
You can desalt the sucker. I get it.
Yeah. So I'm all about that rice.
You like that tuna and rice?
No,
That's a good combo.
But I like beef in the rice more than anything.
Beef better than fish.
Tuna. Yeah, I like the beef. I like.
What about canned chicken? Would you ever do that?
Yeah, I'll do canned chicken. It's good with the corn in there, and you get the cheese, and then you flash fry it, so you kind of like sear the cheese to everything. But then again, casseroles are amazing too.
Casseroles are good, bro. You got to go in your cupboard, and you got to pull out whatever kind of noodle you have. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and hashtag cupboard.
Listen, I got one type of noodle, and it's not to be cooked.
It's between a cabinet and a cupboard, Art. All right? I'm not talking about cooking your noodle. I'm talking about what you got in the fucking cupboards.
This noodle got some screws loosel, and it makes life a fun toodle. And you kick the problem in the caboodle.
Okay.
Because you're a loose noodle. That's how you finish that up.
That seems a bit poetic. But
it's a flibber flabber.
I'll tell you this, dude. Have you ever had? Did I ever give you kapusta?
Kapusta, you did not usta.
No. Okay. So kapusta is a Polish dish. I grew up on it. Mom made it all the time. Come from a Polish background. It's real simple: onion, sauerkraut, and kobasi. Most people say kielbasa. We call it kobasi with the Polish culture. Okay.
Okay.
It's delicious. Very simple. Slice that sucker up. Slice up your Polish sausage, some people call it. We call it kobasi.
Okay.
With sauerkraut and onions. Season it how you like. Some people like the Bavarian style sauerkraut, which has the fennel seeds in it. I just kind of like the regular. And you throw that together. Is it a casserole? Not really. It's just more of a concoction. It's a little bit of a dish.
Yeah, I like the
a couple
concoctions.
ingredients. That's pretty good. The other thing I really like that's super simple. Jamie cooks it because he's got that German culture, and I also cook it in my Polish culture. Is hamburger, sauerkraut, and rice.
Yeah.
3 simple ingredients. Great casserole dish, right? So brown up your hamburger, cook up your white rice, throw a can of sauerkraut in there, mix it all up, and then throw it in the oven and bake it for like 25 minutes, kind of crisping it up. Hamburger, sauerkraut, rice, bomb.
I've never done that. It sounds delicious.
Bomb.
Sounds really delicious, man. God, foods. I mean, I'm so into eating, like all of us are for survival. And one thing that I've been trying to do, cruciferous, like Hundo was talking about.
Cruciferous vegetables haven't left my mind since Hundo was on.
But
I need to repair my colon.
I've been doing my better to eat salad. I mean, we met up with Mike on Monday.
Yeah.
And everybody else ordered 2 slices of za, and I got 1 slice and a salad. So I'm just trying to incorporate that more. Over the past couple weeks, I've probably increased my vegetable intake by 20%.
Makes a big difference. I will say that, dude. And I have been doing at least 6 out of 7 days of the week, some form of salad.
Yeah.
Spinach salad, side salad, wedge salad, what have you. Mm-hmm. Getting creative with trying different things. All those pre-pack ones are great too. The ones that come in a little bowl and you put all the shit and the dressings in there, the little kits.
I usually try to do half the dressing though that they provide. Like do half the amount.
That's one area I could probably get better because I love Italian dressing, Caesar, and ranch. Those are my 3 go-tos.
That's like where the calorie killer is. Like all the sugar killer is in the dressing.
But it's so delicious.
So if you cut it in half,
you're still getting your roughage at the time, right?
Yeah,
so you're still getting fibers. And I will say this, TMI, but since I've been eating my salads almost every day.
Solid stools?
Pretty good stools, man.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
Because it's more pleasant.
Well.
Unless you get one of them humdingers that like, you're like, it's doing something and it hurts.
Yes. Bowel movements are a part of our daily life, and it's important to try and improve those.
Correct. My mother told me growing up that a foot-long floater is a healthy poop. So if it comes out and it's, nice and solid and it floats, then you're eating good.
Really?
Yeah, foot-long floater is what you want.
Yeah, but, I guess. Sometimes there's foot-long ones that sink, though. What does that mean?
It means that, it's not the best poop.
So the best poop is a foot-long floater? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know about
I'm not an expert at that at all. That's what my mama said.
Well, Mama knows a lot of things.
My mama said.
That's a big daddy reference. Or no, Waterboy.
Oh yeah, Mama said.
Waterboy with Adam
Yeah.
Sandler, great movie.
Yeah, that
Great
is a great movie.
Mama says that when the skies are shining down and you feeling blue. I love Adam Sandler. Pretty good stuff. But man, we've
that's
been all
good
over
stuff.
the board. You got any more would you rather's for me?
Yeah, man, and that's what Discussion Combustion is about, baby. Is we're all about all the topics.
We were kind of brainstorming this
know?
week, Art and I, because we're in a solo up here. So we don't have a guest, so we can just kind of be,
Yeah, kind of have a free
just
flow.
hanging all out there. We were talking about maybe introducing a word of the week
Yeah,
segment.
yeah. So goulash is your word of the week.
Goulash is the word of the week. And you can do what you will with that word. And
If you guys go to our website, discussioncombustion.com, and I should probably I need to be more active on that website.
you probably should.
But if y'all go on there and start a blog, we'll look at it and we'll pick out words of the week.
let's get you guys involved with the word of the week. If that's going to be a new segment we're going to launch.
We might do that.
It could be a fun deal. Send us a word weekly, whatever that word may be, and we'll work it in.
So would you rather participate in a drinking contest or an eating contest?
Now, is it that black and white? Like, what? So, what are we eating or what are we drinking?
Your typical eating or drinking contest, like, who could have the most beers or who could have the most shots or like, who could drink the most water. No, we're talking alcohol, people. Water's not included. Or for like food, like, hot dog or like, a big ass hamburger or like, an eating contest.
Oh no, I understand both of them.
What other foods are?
Well, it just depends on what it is. Because like if you're doing a drinking contest, like shots of tequila, I'm out. But if
but whatever your preference.
okay,
Yeah,
like a beer drinking competition,
sure.
I'll do that.
Over what type of food competition?
Well, the thing with food is, as much as I'd want to do it, I know I'd end up getting sick, which I'd probably also do with a drinking competition. But like hot dog eating competitions, I heard about a feller that was doing a hot dog eating
The
one.
Asian guy?
Was that the one?
I don't know what your story is.
Okay. So you're just being a little bit racist before we start the.
Well, no, because that's the one dude that I saw. He was like super fucking fit. He was like eating like a champion. He was the champion.
Yeah, I don't know about the Asian guy, but I'll say this. There was a gentleman, I don't know what race he was, that ate so many hot dogs in a short amount of time that his sodium content went through the roof.
Oh, no.
And he had a fucking heart attack.
From
He
the
lived,
sodium.
but he had a heart attack from the sodium spike in ingesting that many hot dogs in a short
Yeah.
amount of time. The same thing would happen if you were to eat like too many gummy bears or something like that.
Yeah.
Sugar would go and you'd probably pass out.
So before I continue, you have this long hair that's like hanging on your glasses. I don't think you could see it on camera.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you see that? Oh, there it falls. It fell.
I did, huh?
It's gone now. But no, I feel like I might have a glucose sensitivity or something of that nature because if I've drank too much and been eating a lot of carbs, like I have in like the past year fainted from like overdoing it. And so like I need to really be careful with the amount of alcohol that I ingest with like foods and sugar. Like if I'm eating gummy bears, so no, it's totally a thing, man. Like I could see somebody, the body is a symphony of molecular input. And it's like, okay, so for salt, you can taste salt in your mouth. Sometimes you eat something and you're like, oh, that's so delicious and it's salty. It's probably because you need more salt in your system. So you're like, oh yeah, that's really good. Or it's like you keep eating it and like, oh God, it's too salty. And that's your body telling you, that you've had too much salt or that you need more. And there's actually a sense in your stomach that actually senses it as well. That gives it to your brain and stuff. So like from the tongue, it could sense salt. From the stomach, it could sense your salt intake because either too low or high, you could die. And that's how it is with everything, So it's important to pay attention to what you put in your body,
I'll be honest. I have a real problem here, especially recently with vinegar.
How so?
I really like pickles.
Yeah.
I eat a lot of pickles to the point where I'll eat the entire jar
In one sitting?
Oh, absolutely. Maybe not one sitting, but like I'll buy a jar. I'll eat maybe 2 or 3 spears, and then like 2 hours later, I'll eat another 2. I'll smash a jar in a night of pickles.
But not all in one. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Spread it a little bit, but here's the thing: is pickles are so high in sodium,
Yeah.
right? Because it's pickled, so you got a lot of seasoning, spices, curing salts. But the vinegar aspect, I've always loved salt and vinegar chips. I love pickled asparagus, pickled mushrooms, all that stuff. It's delicious. I love pickled items. And vinegar, kombucha, I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
Vinegar just kind of works for me. The salt and vinegar thing is typically where I'll lean rather than sweet.
Really? I could see that. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've been trying to avoid the sweets because I know I've had a weakness for a long time with sweets.
Oh, you can smash some sweets, bro.
I used to literally always have a bag of Skittles in my pocket.
I remember. If it wasn't Skittles, it was like a bag of those
Starburst
gummy
or some
lifesavers.
shit. Yeah.
You always had some treats.
Yeah, I would always have them on me.
And I just struck it up and said, well, Arthur's a stoner. He likes munchies.
Yeah, and that's true. That's true. But yeah. So I've been cutting down sweets a lot for the past couple months to where like, like if I'm wanting that, I'm at the gas station. I'm just gonna skip it. And we're growing older, and it's kind of I feel like a Flintstone when I'm saying this kind of stuff, but it's like, it's time to start treating my body better. And like, vitamins are expensive, like I got the gummy vitamins for my chick, myself, and then bought some like allergy medicine. And that bill was like almost $70 just for those 3 items.
It adds up quick.
It really does.
Adds up quick. I take omeprazole, which is basically Prilosec OTC, Nexium.
Heartburn stuff or what?
Yeah, but I get the cheaper shit. And I've read a lot of mixed reports. People are saying, oh, this shit's causing heart problems down the road, this, that, and the other. But I will say this, for people that deal with acid reflux like I do, or people with hiatal hernias, or just suffer from heartburn in general, because you have, daily heartburn, it works.
Yeah.
So I've been taking it again. I always feel the results, but then I read those articles. I'm like, man, I got to back off. So I tried the natural remedies. I did the apple cider vinegar, taking the Brags and just drinking that every day. So my doctor told me, he's like, if you don't want to take a pill, try that. So I've tried different remedies to deal with it, but it's something that I could probably correct with diet and less alcohol. Those are the 2 biggest things that contribute to it.
Yeah. I mean, booze is, from a stoner mentality, and like, I'm not your typical stoner. Like, I'll smoke weed and build an awesome deck that will stand for 100 years, and it looks fucking awesome. There's people out there that could smoke and get it done still, and I'm one of those type of smokers. And so, like, growing up, weed was illegal. Like, I felt so blessed when it became legalized in Colorado. That was an awesome time. But besides the point, alcohol affects more lives and families than marijuana does. Like alcoholism, people being, rowdy drunks, beating their family, being abusive, and it's on every single corner. And I've done all the drugs. Like I've been down all those rabbit holes and went hard. And alcohol is the cheapest out of all the drugs, and it's the most accessible, and it's the most normalized. Like it's almost like people are like, hey, come on, let's go have a drink. And you're like, I'm just going to drink water,
Yeah. And people are like, what?
Then you're kind of weird.
Yeah.
So it's like almost one of those things where it's like so implanted into our ideological, society's ideological beliefs that it's like, I feel like that is placed into society almost with intent to keep people grounded, or to keep people buzzed, to keep people, inebriated, because it's so normal, it's so regularized. Every single event, let's go get a drink. Your job, hey, we're doing a happy hour so you guys can drink. It's so normal, and that's been one of the things for me growing up, is like somebody who prefers pot, is it's like marijuana is not causing people to like beat their wives. It's not causing, people to drink themselves until liver failure, and with the withdrawals from alcohol, if you drink super heavily, like you're drinking the bottle every single day and then you just stop, like you could literally die from that.
Sure.
Like you can't die from smoking blunts every day and then not smoking a blunt. Like,
yeah.
So it's one of those things where, like, because I've always been on the smoker side, 420 friendly or whatever, it's been one of those things where it's like, well, booze is probably way worse for you, but it's more normalized.
It's more accepted.
It's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird to me.
It is. It is weird. I didn't really. I mean, coming from the part of the country I'm from, up in New England, growing up, weed was taboo. Taboo. You know, devil's lettuce. We're not standing for it type shit. It's come around. I mean, I've been out in Denver since '07 now, and Maine's been legal. New Hampshire's, doing their thing. Massachusetts. New England's coming around with it. But it was always so taboo, old school shit. So when I came to Colorado, it was like, marijuana, absolutely. It was almost more socially accepted than drinking. Boston and New England is such a drunk town, drunk area. And I'm not stereotyping everyone back home saying we're drunks. But drinking is very accepted. It's an Irish culture, old part of the country. You have a whiskey and a scotch, a beer, whatever it is when you get home from work, that's just part of it. And, that's where I took up drinking. But you're right. It is such a socially accepted thing.
Yeah.
It's just a part of it, right? You take a sip of beer after work.
I mean, we're doing it right now.
And it is. It's the cheapest drug there is, so to speak. Probably the most addictive. Probably causes the most problems in marital and relationship issues.
People drinking, driving, killing people and shit.
Yeah, I mean, and you can deal with that with your higher spectrum drugs too, your Schedule 1s and stuff like that.
But how many people like laced up on coke are like driving horribly?
Well,
it depends how distracted they are while they're driving, but
right.
no, booze. I mean, we've all done it, and I'm gonna say that a friend did this to CYA. A friend has driven drunk multiple times. And a lot of people do it. And my friend, feels very confident while driving a little inebriated.
Everybody does. Everybody's 10 feet tall and bulletproof.
But there has been times where that friend has had too many and like has noticed the swerves. And like and then you get that like, oh shit, I'm not driving well. But like, if people are super inebriated, like, are they even noticing that? Like, because my friend's trying to be aware. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's not right to do that, but everybody does it, and it's like, I don't know, man. For anybody who's gonna sit here and drink a 6-pack a night or drink 2 glasses of wine a night, and you're gonna shun marijuana, shame on you. That's how I feel.
I would agree with that for sure. I mean, if you are engaging in alcohol intake at the end of your day, which, God bless you, it's your right. If you want to pour yourself a scotch or a whiskey or a cold beer,
please do it. Helps relax the mind.
I do it most days of the week, but you're right. At the same token, shunning people that use marijuana just seems a little bit silly.
Well, because there's this whole stereotype like, oh, bro, I just smoked a J and dog, I'm going to raid the fridge.
Right.
Like there's that stereotype around it.
Well, and then there was like, I remember in the early 90s, I'm sure you remember, 80s, 90s, the hardcore campaign against marijuana made it seem like, oh, I'm so high right now, nothing can hurt me. And a guy grabs a gun and blows his fucking face off. They campaigned it to where it made you so impaired that you thought you could do shit like that. And
it's
personally,
not funny, but that ad sounds ridiculously funny to me.
You would recognize it. I'll play it for you. Personally, I don't use a lot of marijuana. I have in my lifetime. I have no problem with it. I took an edible not too long ago. I'll dance around with it a little bit here and there. I don't necessarily like the way it makes me feel. It gives me a little bit of anxiety, but I have no problem with people that want to use it. And it should be considered just like smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer, or smoking a joint. It's all the same to me.
Well, and also if you decriminalize like all the other substance, like I feel like it was one of the Baltic, like maybe Sweden or something. Like they had areas where heroin addicts could go to use, and to like get services to help with abuse issues, and that's really helped those communities because you're taking away the black market, which is filled of laced substance. So you don't know what you're getting in the black market. But then if you legalize it, then it's then regulated so people are actually injecting clean. And I've never done heroin. I've never touched a needle like that. Like, just to get that out there, I'm not like that. But I have done synthetic heroin, like opioids and shit. So, I could kind of relate to that addiction. But in those countries where that's been happening, there's been a lot of progress and growth. Because they're no longer like blacklisting it and all this other stuff. They're understanding it for a problem that they can come in and help regulate, and by helping regulate, they're decreasing amount of deaths. They're giving a cleaner substance to the addict. So there's less deaths with that, and they're also offering preventative care and stuff. So if you were to decriminalize like all the drugs, it would take away the black market, and it would give extra tax revenues. It's like these things are here. So why have this stigma about it? Because microdosing even on acid can end up like helping a stimulus. Like so there's all these different, and if you were to open that up, then you could potentially help human growth. With psychological change, with disorder behaviors to overcome those, and there's just too many options and stuff.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth on the whole thing. I mean, as far as legalizing all drugs, I've been for it, I've been against it. I understand both sides of it. It's always going to be available. We look at where I'm from in New Hampshire, the opioid heroin problem there is terrible. And it got really bad after I left. Came out to the Midwest here in Denver. Crystal meth is a big problem out here. Meth is not as big on the East Coast for whatever reason. I don't know why it's regional. Heroin's a big problem back where I'm from.
It's because Breaking Bad, bro, that little camper van only goes so far.
I don't know. I didn't really get into that program too much, but I can understand what you're saying.
It was going.
But yeah, as far, regulating it a certain way. Do you make cocaine legal? Medically legal or regulate in a specific way.
I mean, but it is kind of in a sense with Adderall. Like that's like
but
legal
it's not,
speed.
It is. It's legal speed, but it's not coming from the cocaine plant or the cocaina.
Cocaina.
Well, cocaina is the Spanish term, but the plant, I think it's coca or coca plant.
Coca, yeah,
is where it's derived from. They basically mush it down to a liquid form, take the paste from it, so on and so forth. I don't know much about how cocaine's produced. Okay?
Sounds like you know a little bit.
No, I don't, but I've watched some documentaries on Netflix.
Sounds like you might be the next narco.
No, I'm not. I don't do drugs. I've done drugs in my lifetime. I don't do them anymore. And, that's where we're at. I don't necessarily think legalizing it is the answer, but to the original point, marijuana should be rescheduled federally. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
It needs to be rescheduled in the same category as alcohol and tobacco. And I think that would be, essentially the federal legalization portion of it.
I think that would be a fair place for it. And Kevin and I, from the bottom of our hearts, man, 60 episodes in, it's been quite a journey, and we feel humbled and honored to have the listenership that we do, have the support that we do. Our friends and family support us. We get support from absolute strangers, and we truly are genuinely ourselves here. Like neither of us are ever trying to act in a way that we don't naturally, and that's. So we feel really humbled and honored that you guys let us share ourselves with you, and coming and doing episode 60, closing this episode out, man. I feel really fortunate to have had this opportunity to bring people to this table, to get to know so many great guests, so many more to come too, and it's amazing to me that just friends having a conversation. That people can relate to that, and I guess it's not that surprising, but it's still amazing to me that we've gotten the support that we have. And that's my appreciation.
Absolutely, man. Every time we show up and do another one of these, we see the numbers go up and up. Oh, it's this episode, it's that episode. 60 in, man. I was thinking we've done 60 of these things. And for our newer listeners that are just joining us on YouTube or wherever you're tuning in, you can find all of our old audio episodes on all the streaming platforms, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere you find a podcast, really, you will see the audio and you will be able to go way back in time to where we started this thing. And, we don't like to soapbox or sit here and talk about this, that, and the other too much. But because it's a milestone episode, 60 in the books, it's cool to reflect back and just give a thanks to the listenership, to the continued support, to the people that enjoy listening to Arthur and I, and the people that we get to sit across this table from. and share conversations with. It's absolutely been tremendous. And I'm so excited for where it's going to go, where we continue to grow. We're here in Denver, Colorado, and it's just been really cool to dive into this scene and meet some people we would have never had a chance to meet and sit down with.
And the local podcasting community, if any of y'all are listening, man, open arms. Like they had open arms with us, and us ourselves. Like we've had a lot of people coming in here that have, like Mikey Wheels, like Sam that was on last week. They're interested in starting podcasts, and we want them to do it. We would like, so we're here to help people succeed. Discussion Combustion has always been for the people. It's about anybody and everybody, all walks in life. We want to sit down and have a conversation with you and be critical about it, and be accepting about it, and loving about it. And man, I really got to say, like, it's been a journey, and I am excited to continue on this journey. And we believe and achieve this. Kevin had the idea, and he believed that it would be good, and we set forth and we achieved. And then that's like a simple slogan, but it really means a lot to me. It took me a while to put that together. I was trying to copy his letter, rip, titter, chip, pop a bag, scalawag, whatever. Yeah, but believe and achieve. Truly, what is going to make you happy long term. Like focus on yourself. Because you can't help anybody else if you're not where you need to be. You're going to be distraught. So believe in what you need. Believe in yourself and work toward that. Achieve that.
Absolutely. Always great positive motivation. Arthur always coming in. It makes me feel like I need to echo that. But just be you and find something that motivates you and do your thing. Do your thing. This is a great time for people to reflect and to slow down and find something that motivates you. And for Arthur and I, it's getting together here on the podcast every Wednesday to get away from that 9-to-5 hustle that we do and being able to talk to the world. It's just incredible. And I certainly don't take it for granted at all. I love it. I love being able to sit down here and talk and connect with people. It's just terrific. It really is terrific. And much appreciation to our fans, to our listeners, supporters, people that share our stuff and just want to be a part of it. It's terrific. We love you guys. You've heard the spiel. We talk about subscribing, following us on social. You guys know the spiel. You're already going to do that because, that's what true fans do. And that's what you guys are.
Yeah, like I said, we're humbled. We love you guys. We'll be back next week, episode 61 with Sonia. And we're just going to keep on coming, baby. And we're going to see all this through, all the masking, all of the paranoia, stay strong, stay humble, be respectful. And with that in mind, we can see a better light.
Absolutely. Just keep digging, man. Let it rip, tater chip. Own it. Always be sure to own it. Be good to yourselves because y'all deserve it. And, we'll see you back here next week, episode 61. We have a guest in studio, and we will continue to have guests in studio. A couple solos here and there. That's how we like to do here and there. But appreciate you guys tuning in. Mm-hmm. 60 in the books.
Stay happy.
Rest in peace to my good buddy from my childhood, Tyler Cott. We're thinking of you, and we love you guys. You be good to yourselves.